Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha Kodash, the belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone which you well. Salutations to the whole for the elect out there, you Akim, to Sadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman. This week's topic I want to talk about is the war on your attention span. Now, I'm gonna most likely upload this video on the GMS NYC Camp and Sit Down, which is a camp page, because these devils they blocked me for one of my lessons I did on my other two channels, and normally this channel should be for the camp videos, but so brothers, this is what I'm gonna be uploading on for the next 2 weeks. GMS NYC Camp and Sit Downs. All right, so I got an article here, right? And this man, the so-called white man, we know everything the so-called white man does. He has think tanks, in different ways and devices to come up to destroy our people. And one of the ways he's waging war on our people is the lack of attention, right? To retain someone's attention for a longer duration of time than a few seconds, right? Now, this is an article here from Orlando Sentinel, right? It says, our attention span is shorter than a goldfish's. Here's what we can do about it. So I'm not gonna read the entire part, but the point, just off that, right? The attention of humans today is shorter than a goddamn goldfish. Why is that? Because the so-called white man has stuff like TikTok, Instagram Shorts, Vines. Now it's YouTube Shorts. All these videos is pretty much gearing our minds to say, look, if I can't digest it in 60 seconds or less, I don't want to deal with it. And guess what that goes back to? That goes back now to when the truth is out there. They're already shadow banning the truth. Now, if you come across the truth, more likely than not, most people don't want to listen to nothing that's, more than 2 minutes. And at one time we could put up titles, some titles be provocative or whatever, or attention grabbing titles, some sort of clickbait titles. But guess what? Now with the algorithms that YouTube have, you put certain titles, your video could get flagged before the shit is even watched by anybody. So this man is just a crafty demon, man. It says there are so many crises that make the news, all of which are digested in bite-sized morsels. Political divisiveness. They got crime and policing, race relations, environmentalism, and the list goes on. What's not on the list, but should be, our short and ever dwindling attention span. If you watch a movie, I believe it's called Idiocracy, this guy, he was an average Joe, and I guess he went in a time machine and he went into the future. And people were so completely stupid that he was like the smartest dude on the planet Earth. Their attention span was like worse than a fish, like here. And it was completely stupid, and that's what the so-called white man is gearing society to be towards, man. Nobody wants to research anything. Nobody wants to consider anything. Everybody just want to accept what they're given. So it's so many different angles that the so-called white man is attacking the human mind, right? And one of that is shortening your attention span, man. You can't listen to something. And hell, sometimes I find myself doing that, man. It's like I'm trying to work on it, but it's like, like you watch a video, and it's like, man, if it's not capturing your attention quickly, you might just go to the next video. It's like, damn, what the fuck is going on? But it's our minds being conditioned to having everything in super bite-sized pieces of information. That when a large morsel of meat, like this knowledge of long, lengthy, good show comes around, the mind is not, your mind is not ready to digest it all. It's used to quick meals. It says, I'd happily take a bite-sized version of our concentration disorder. Consider this: the average human attention span is now shorter than a goldfish's. A recent study found that the average human attention span has fallen from 12 seconds in 2000 to 8 seconds today. It is reported that goldfish have a 9-second attention span. So we have a shorter attention span than a goldfish, bro. That has to be, and the fact that it went down shows you that the so-called white man knows exactly what he's doing, man. All right? Everything is shorter. Think about this, man. In the early 2000s, commercials were long. Now commercials are even shorter. You could skip the ad. You only need 5 seconds of the ad. Your brain is so wired to just get things quickly that when lengthy good information start come out, you don't even have to tell people don't listen. They just won't have the time for it. So this man is crafty. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Right. So with the Lord's people, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of your father's descent, how you destroy from a lack of hearing this, because the scriptures tell you that knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. You get true knowledge is knowledge of this Bible, to know what the hell is going on. That's what the word knowledge means, to know. In fact, that's where you get the word science from. Science means to know. And when you have a society that has an attention span of a goddamn goldfish, what can you really teach them? How can you really not only get their attention but retain it? So the so-called white man is doing psychological warfare on our minds, all right? Biological warfare, chemical, everything, everything. And you try to explain this to people, they won't get it. They won't even have the time to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? They want to listen to some stupid 10-second dumb shit. That's what's going to get like 1 million views, some stupid short shit, but the truth is in abundance and they don't really get no views. But you know what? It's meant to be that way because it's always been that way. It's always been a very few that's going to, delve into this understanding. And the majority are not, man. That's just how the Lord got it set up. In fact, since I said that, let me go to a precept real quick. Go to a precept here in 2nd Ezra 8:1, and I'll go back to what I was reading. This is 2nd Ezra 8:1. It says, and he answered me, saying, the Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few. See, so this world right now is for the many, and in fact, it's increasing. The population is almost 9 billion. But why is that? Why is the Most High having so much spirits come on the planet Earth? Because there's a great judgment that's about to come to the planet Earth. So that's why all these spirits, right? There's more spirits on the planet Earth that's ever been in history for this great judgment that's coming at World War III. It says, I will tell thee a similitude, verse 2. I will tell thee a similitude, Ezra, as when thou hast askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold whereof earthen vessels are made, right? So it's very easy to find dirt on the planet Earth. It's not hard to find dirt. You go outside, you can see dirt everywhere. That's average people. But little dust the gold cometh of. Right, so when was the last time you went outside and found a piece of gold on the floor? It doesn't happen. It's very rare. Even so is the course of the present world, right? And what's that gold represent? That represents the men of the Lord. Ecclesiasticus, the 2nd chapter. There's many scriptures that tell you that the men of the Lord are likened unto silver and gold, precious metals, because they're very hard to find. Most people just want to be wicked and do whatever their heart tells them to do. Now, verse 3 says, there be many created, but few shall be saved. See, so the majority of people in the world are always going to be doing their bullshit, and, going after the ways of the world. Only the few, there's always just been a few, are going to truly seek after the Heavenly Father and most likely have their attention retained towards this knowledge. All right, now, I'm reading another article here from Rainier and Company. It says, change in attention span and what it means for content in 2021. What is the price we pay to order donuts at 3 a.m.? FaceTime a maid in France and learn about 40s fashion simultaneously? A recent study by Microsoft concluded that the human attention span has dropped to 8 seconds, shrinking nearly 25% in just a few years. Are we damaging our brains, or is it a question of producing the right content to people to stop, collaborate, and listen? That nifty device in your pocket, friend or foe, right? So it's talking about your phone, because think about it. The phone really is it could be to your damnation or your salvation, because there's a lot of information and stuff on the internet, but it can also fry your mind with bullshit. So it's like a double-edged sword, man. A double-edged sword could cut your enemy, and it could also cut you. So that's what the sword could do to you, man. So a phone could do to you. It says, whilst your smartphone can help you connect with friends and family, plan your social life, stay informed on current affairs, plus motivate and track your exercise, it can also distract you from your work, make you feel inadequate, and encourage reckless spending. One study from the American Psychological Association found that nearly 1/5 of people say technology is a source of stress. Then there are the potential physical effects of being always on, from neck pain and wrinkles to elevated blood pressure. How can we make sure we are getting the most from our devices and keeping our brain focused? So that's a very interesting point this article is stating, because like if you look at your phone, we use our phones to get information, lessons, watch news and stuff, but most people just use the phone for bullshit, and really just, again, worsen their attention span. I'm just saying that's just, for the most case, that's what happens. It says, going back to the scriptures now, Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. And how they rejected knowledge? Their short ass attention span that can't retain the attention of the truth, which at the end of the day goes back to the angels. When the prophets speak, they don't listen. They don't have no time for it, or they might come out and listen and then go back to their same bullshit. So that's how you reject the Most High. It says, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. Right, so, hey man, look, that's what's going on right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Our people are completely destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And with this new situation of the attention span going down, they could barely attain knowledge. They could barely retain knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Because if this thing is not spicy enough or whatever, off they go. But again, to hell with them, because we're not dealing with everybody. Now, the so-called white man, this is Genesis 3:1, is crafty in the things that he does, because this is a crafty thing to do. To slowly dumb people down by messing with their attention span. That's subtle. And that's one of the characteristics of this devil. Genesis 3:1 says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. So the Most High, the point is the serpent was subtle. That's really the main point I wanted out this verse, that he was the most subtle of any beast. Meaning sub is under, till is web. So he stays under the web, than any other beast. Any other nations are not as subtle as the so-called white man, all right? Because who's doing all this shit, really? All this stuff that's destroying the planet Earth in a subtle way, who's really behind it? It's the so-called white man, all right? In fact, he calls himself white. That's a subtle thing right there, because he's not white. He's red, and you're called black. Black means void of light, negative. You see, so he plays on words. There's so much shit that the so-called white man does. He's just a subtle demon, man. Proverbs 1:30. They would none of my counsel. They despise all my reproof. Now, who's that talking about? That's talking about you Israelites out there, the 2/3 of you. Why you don't want to hear the counsel of the Lord? One, the Most High hasn't chosen you. But at this staging point, shit, I doubt most of you Israelites can make it past a 10-minute video before you clicking on goddamn Worldstar, Pornhub, some booty shaking shit, some bullshit. The list goes on. It says, verse 31, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. And what's some of the devices of the 2/3? Adultery, murder, raping, robbery, all types of wickedness, man. They're going to get caught up in their own devices. It says, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. And right now, the fool is in prosperity, man. What's foolish? Like, stupid shit online. It's just complete folly, sudden dignity. That's sort of what's in right now, right? To be a complete fool, dumb shit. But guess what? When all hell breaks loose, people are going to say, what the fuck am I doing wasting my time listening to this bullshit? I need to get true knowledge to be saved. But in that time, it's going to be too late, see? So the Lord is only dealing with his elect right now. The elect of the Heavenly Father are going to seek after the truth. And when they hear the truth, their attention span will be on point, and they will learn to shut the fuck up and just listen to it. James 1:19, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, right? So you should be ready and eager to hear the words of the Lord, slow to speak, so don't be snappy, because that's another thing too with the short attention span. A first few couple of words brothers are saying, teaching, somebody already has a snappy comeback for you. You know what I'm saying? It says be slow to speak, slow to wrath. Right? So again, rule over your emotions. Okay? Ecclesiastes 5:1, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High. So when we go out there, if you go out there, you see a man teaching, a man of the Lord teaching, all right, you should be more apt to listen, all right, than to just give the first thing that comes to your mind. And that's sort of what's this attention span is done. Like either somebody tunes out right away, or the first few words you say is a snappy comeback. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody really at this point have the ability to just listen, retain information, rule a spirit. Everything is like fast paced, snappy, and hasty, man. You know, that's sort of how, the social media has constructed people's minds to be. It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High, and be ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. And if you look at most of these sites, you might be watching 40, 60, 70, 80 videos in a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like seconds and shit like that. So when this truth gets put out there, if it's not getting somebody's attention in 10, 20, 30 seconds, they're on to the next, man. So you know what? Look, it's a two-way thing, man, because that's the most I really weeding out that quickly. Those that are not meant to get it. James 1:26, if any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man religion is vain. The point I wanted out of that verse is bridling your mouth, put a bridle, like the bridle is used. Them horses, they bite it down and you could direct them. I gotta really get out the Strong's light, man. I don't know why they keep giving me the Strong's light. I just want to Strong's. All right, I'll fix that after. By a bridle to a guy, hold his neck, strain. Pretty much restrain yourself. To have the ability to restrain yourself. You know what I'm saying? Rule your spirit. These sort of characteristics, man, to attain the information of the Heavenly Father. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, HaKodash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Sadakim, that do this thing in the most truth and sincerity. And Shalom.